What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tevin Jameer back at it again with another episode of the Hate It or Love It podcast. And as I was thinking about what topic I should do for this week, I just thought about it. Like, there's a part of my community that I haven't been speaking to in a long time. And that is the power community. So as you guys can see in the title, today I will be speaking on Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 4, like my thoughts so far on the season. Because if y'all don't know me, or if you're one of my new subs, basically one of my favorite shows of all time is the original Power. And from after the original Power ended, we got like 3 spinoffs. We got Ghost, which ended last year. We got Raising Kanan, which is the one I'm talking about today. And then we got Force, which is supposed to come out this fall. But I usually like to give my thoughts on, Power, like how the seasons are going sometimes. And I haven't done a Power related episode since Ghost ended. So, I want to do a Raising Kanan one. That was, that's one of the big shows that's going on right now. And like I said, I just want to give my thoughts on how the season is going so far. I think we had like 6 episodes so far of the season. And I figured, this is still somewhat the halfway point of the season. At some point, they take a 1-week break. So I'm like, I still got time to put out my quick thoughts for halfway through the season. And, we still got time to see if any prediction. So I'm going to give my thoughts on how the season has been going so far, like the story, characters, and stuff like that. This ain't gonna be no episode by episode basis, but I'm just gonna give my thoughts on characters, story, and I will give my predictions on where I can see things going, because the big question of this season is who's the one that dropped off Famous. That's the big question. That's the big mystery of this season. Who is the one that killed Famous? So for anybody that hasn't seen Power or anything like that, if you've never seen the original Power, or if you've never seen Raising Kanan, then I advise that you go watch those before you watch the rest of this episode, because I get into all spoilers. I don't hold back. I get into all spoilers. So like I said, go watch Raising Kanan. I mean, Raising Kanan is a prequel to the original Power, so you don't necessarily need to watch the original Power, but some of my thoughts are related to the original Power because, some of the characters from Raising Kanan do go on to be in there. So that's why I'm advising that you watch both and then get back here. But with all that being said, let's really get into it. So what's my thoughts on season 4 so far? Okay, I think I should do it like this. Let's go through characters because I want to save my overall thoughts for the end. So let's go with characters. As far as Kanan, let's run through the main characters. As far as Kanan, Kanan, one thing that I've always given the show credit for, and the one thing that I love about Raising Kanan, because when you watch the original Power, you get the sense that Kanan is very lonely, and they kind of touch on that, before his death in season 5 of the original Power. Like, when I say that he's lonely, like, he really don't got no family. He don't really have no friends in the streets. Like, it's been told in backstories through various characters that a lot of the people that Kanan was cool with, they either died. As far as family, the only family that we really get to see in the original Power is his cousin Juke, who's also in this series. And you really do get the sense that he is very lonely and stuff like that. And that's one thing that I loved about Raising Kanan, because you see him as, somewhat of a normal kid at the beginning of the series. Like, he wants to get in that life, but for the most part, he's just a normal kid. And you see him surrounded by friends and family. And that's the one thing about Raising Kanan. It's like, that by the end of this series, he's going to become that cold-hearted character that we've seen in the original Power. And the sad thing is, all these people that he's surrounded by are going to be gone in some way, shape, or form. They don't all have to die, but they're going to probably get locked up. They're probably going to have to move away. Like, the way that you see the original Kanan is like, Raising Kanan is going to end in somewhat of a tragic way. So that's one of the things that I loved about Raising Kanan. With each season, we really start to see Kanan become that person. Like, Season 2, they really got down how violent, Kanan can be. He didn't go crazy like how the original Kanan did, but like you can see that he was getting to more of that violent state. In season 3, you could see that he was hustling more, like he was getting in with the real players in New York, like he was really networking with people, making a name for himself, because in the original Power, Kanan was a name that was feared. So to see them somewhat establish that, like him, moving and shaking with the old heads, it's like, okay, I like where season 2 is going, or season 2 and 3 is going. In this season, he definitely got more of the attitude of 50. Like in the original Power, he got more of the attitude. He got his own little crew that he's running, and like some of the ways that he talks, and like some of the ways that he talks to his crew and stuff like that, it really does remind me of how 50 used to talk, and I'm saying 50 because 50 played Kanan in the original Power. You could see like that's how the original Kanan would talk to his crews and stuff like that. So I say that I like the slow development, but I also like that this season, as much as it's sad to see Famous go, because Famous is actually one of my favorite characters, as sad as it is to see Famous go, what I like is that they're slowly taking people away from Kanan to make him that cold-hearted person. Season 1, his friend D Wiz got dropped off. This season, Famous got dropped off. And then he got a girlfriend this season named Crystal, and I'm pretty sure she ain't making it out of this season alive. I do think Crystal's gonna be used as another person to make him more cold-hearted. Also there was his grandmom. They set up a big plot line this season where Kanan's grandmom has cancer, and they established a really close bond between her and him. So the loss of her, which I feel like is gonna happen this season, I feel like that's also going to make him cold-hearted. Like they basically keep laying groundwork to make him into, what Kanan was in the original Power. So that's one thing that I really love about this show. And while the character development isn't too crazy for him, I will say that it's not too crazy for him. I do like the steady growth that they've been establishing each season, because I feel like by the end of this season, because right now it's looking like season 5 is going to be the last season of Raising Kanan. It seems like this season, by the end of it, we are going to start to see, it's not even start. We are going to see the original Kanan. And by season 5, he is going to be original Kanan, in my opinion. I really do think we're going to get to that point. But that's only if season 5 is the final season, which I wouldn't be surprised if it is, because they already announced Power Origins, which is supposed to serve as Kanan teaching Ghost and Tommy the game. So, if they already announced that series, I can imagine that season 5 is going to end soon, and then we're going to go straight into Power Origins. Because honestly, that's the main show people are waiting for right now. Like, we're really waiting to see Ghost and Tommy, and how they came up. So that should be interesting. The next main character I'm going to touch on is Rock, which is Kanan's mom. And if I'm going to be honest, Rock, her storyline, I don't really have much thoughts on it this season, because there's not really anything too special to say. Like, I will say the first episode of this season was a flashback episode explaining what all the characters were doing while Unique was recovering after nearly dying last season. And her plot line in that episode pretty much showed that she may have fallen in love with Unique, and that she was pregnant, but she aborted the baby. So after that, Rock is just kind of going through the motions this season. It's crazy, because one thing I always say about characters and some of my favorite characters in media, I like active main characters, not passive main characters. And when I say that, is active main characters are the ones that push the story forward. Like, they're actively doing things, and the other characters have to shape how they move around them. Those are the type of main characters that I love in shows. Now, passive main characters, I don't like them nowhere nearly as much, and it actually annoys me when a main character is really passive, because I feel like passiveness should be a side character type thing. But a passive side character is like, the other characters and the situations shape what the main characters do. And it's not that passive main characters can't be good. It's just 9 times out of 10, I just don't tend to enjoy them. Rock is usually that very active main character. Like she's really the one. Like that's why I love that Raising Kanan is basically, if you want to break down the main characters, Rock and Kanan. Those two are always the main characters of Raising Kanan. And what I love is that each season you would see how Rock moves the story forward. You would see how Kanan moves the story forward. But I feel like this season it's more Kanan moving the story forward more than Rock. But I'm not going to all the way say that she's not actively moving the story forward because of my prediction on what happened to Famous. So depending on that prediction, if that prediction winds up being true, then I will say then she has been actually being active and they just been kind of hiding it from us. But as of right now, at least past episode 6, we still got episodes 7, 8, 9, and 10. We still got 4 more episodes. So as of episode 6, right now she's coming off very passive to me, and there's not really much to say in my opinion. She's just kind of going through the motions. But what I will say is that I hate this whole Rock and Unique being in love storyline. I hated the fact that they made her pregnant. I hated that. One thing about Raising Kanan, there has been decisions in past seasons where I wasn't sure on it, but they found a way to stick the landing. So I'm really hoping, because out of all the Power series besides the original Power, Raising Kanan is the second best of the whole universe story-wise. So I'm hoping that they didn't just do this for no reason. I'm hoping that, the whole her being pregnant but aborting the baby and then her probably being in love with Unique, I really hope that's going to resolve in something good for the series. I really hope they stick the landing, but as of right now, I really fucking hated that. And the reason I hated it so much is because, look, season 1 and part of season 2, these two was beefing with each other, like damn near trying to actually not even damn near, they were literally in war in season 1. Like they were actively trying to kill each other and each other's families in season 1 and part of season 2. And now Unique did save Rock's life in season 2 at the end of it, and that set up for them to kind of, become friends with benefits in season 3. But that's all it was. Y'all literally went from trying to kill each other to having a little fling to now y'all in love. It's not like y'all really spent real time together. It's not like y'all really went on dates. It's not like y'all was just sleeping around after trying to kill each other. What you mean you in love with each other? I mean, the world is full of possibilities. It's not like it can't happen, but it's like, what the fuck? That's all I'm thinking is just how do we end up here talking about some I may have loved him? Like, okay. And then even Unique's in there saying that he loves Rock. Like, and it's crazy. This man really pulled up on Rock before like I said, half of this season are halfway through, or if you watch Raising Kanan, then you know what happened with Unique. Ronnie thought he killed Unique, and we all thought he was dead until the end of the season. Well, not really me, because I saw the leaked photos on set, but they led people to believe that Unique was dead. In this season, he was basically recovering, but acting like he was still dead while messing with, Rock's organization. But Unique has a baby mom, and he's been giving money to his baby mom to take care of their son. And you're telling me that now when you finally decide I'm going to reveal that I'm still alive, you pulled up on fucking Rock before you even pulled up on your baby mom and your son? You didn't want to see your son? Like, oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I just started getting into my thoughts on Unique. So I'll talk about Unique right now. I wish they actually stuck to their gun, because at first, Unique's character was actually supposed to be dead, but then after they filmed the scene, Joey Badass basically talked to the showrunner and said that he still wants to be in the show. So they rewrote parts of season 3 and season 4 to keep Unique into the show. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I wish they stuck to their guns. I wish they actually kept Unique dead, because they were hyping this up like, yo, Unique is not gonna be the same person no more. He's gonna have a personality change. He might not even remember who he is, all for him to just act like Ronnie. which Ronnie is his brother from last season. All for him just to wind up acting like Ronnie and then eventually just going back to just acting like regular Unique. He's just more ready to kill people now. Actually, it's not even just being more ready to kill people. In season 1, he was also ruthless. So what changed? And I feel like when I watch Unique scenes, I feel like I'm just wasting time. Oh, but he dropped this person. He dropped this person. He's doing damage. You could have introduced a new villain that did something like that. I mean, I just feel like we're wasting our time with this whole Unique thing. And what's going to be the result by the end of this season? Either you guys actually do kill him for real, and then I'll really feel like I wasted my time, or either you guys keep him alive, and it's like, that's unrealistic. So for me, there's just no win here. Like, y'all should have just left him dead in season 3 when he was supposed to be dead. But, like I said, I'm going to hope that they stick the landing here. You got Marvin, one of Kanan's uncles. Marvin, I do like what they're doing with this season, where it's crazy. Marvin is like one of the most introspective characters of the series, because in season 1, that's when Marvin was really on like his horrible natured stuff. Like, he was hot-headed. He was, a horrible parent to Jukebox. Like, he was a horrible person in season 1. We liked him, but he was a horrible person. But in season 2, he started to become more thoughtful. He started to become a better parent. Like, you get to see Marvin start to become more of a, not sensitive person, but more of a thoughtful person. Like, he really actually started to think about the things he was doing. And in season 3, he was like the real MVP for Rock. Like, where Lulu stepped down because he was going through his shit, Marvin was basically the one that stepped up and got the job done in a lot of situations in season 3. In season 4, we kind of see Marvin kind of in a battle with himself, and that's what I love. In season 4, he got betrayed a few times in season 3, or he got betrayed a few times throughout the series. So now we start season 4 with him kind of in a, fuck everybody type mode. Like, he really, what's the word? He really doesn't trust anybody. He's just kind of going back into his hot-headed ways. But what I love that sets up like him being in a battle with himself is that he's seeing how the person that he is affecting Jukebox, which is Kanan's cousin and which is, Marvin's daughter. He's seeing how him acting out and being a crash out affected how his daughter became the person that she is. And it's kind of starting to make him reflect like, damn, like, I really, if I knew it was going to affect you, like, I wouldn't have wanted to do this. I don't want you to be like me. But he's realizing that it's too late. And that's what I love about Marvin this season, is that they showed us his hot-headed side. They showed us, him being more on point. But this season, so much has happened to him throughout the series that he's kind of like in a crossroads. And now it kind of feels like he has to choose, like, am I going to try to be better, or am I just going to go all in with this stuff? But what I feel like they're setting up with his character, they made, like I said, he's kind of getting back into his hot-headed mode. So this season, he's been making a lot of mistakes. And what I feel like they're setting up is that he's going to see how ruthless Jukebox has become. And he's going to try to be better. Like, he's going to actually for real try to, not saying that he's going to get out of the game, but he's really going to try to be his best self. And I feel like he's going to be one of the characters that may get off at the end of this season. I really do feel like at the end of this season, we are in for a major death, like a major death. And I'm not talking Unique. I mean, maybe they might waste that, major death on him, but I feel like we're really in for a major death this season, because this season has kind of broke a lot of traditions for the Power universe. Usually we don't get too many flashbacks in the Power universe. I mean, now I guess you could say we have been, but a whole flashback episode, which Courtney Kemp, who's the creator of the original Power, and she does oversee the rest of the universe. Like, she's not actively doing anything, but like she oversees everything now. And she hates flashbacks. So that's why we rarely seen it in the universe before. But they've been doing flashbacks. There's usually like a major death in like episode 3 or episode 5. Episode 5 didn't have a major death. So the fact that they're breaking a lot of power traditions, something is telling me that we are going to get a major death at the end of this season. And I feel like it's either going to be Marvin or Lulu. There's no, obviously we know Kanan and Juke is going to survive because they're in the original power. And Rock, I feel like if she was to die, then that would be like an end of the series type thing. But Marvin or Lulu, I feel like the way that their stories has been going this season, it's really going to result in one of them being the major death. Like I said, unless they waste that on Unique. Next, we got Lulu, which is Kanan's other uncle. And this season, what I love about Lulu this season is that he's somewhat in the same situation as Marvin, but not really. Like, Lulu is trying to recover from being in that life, but he's also trying to recover from being an alcoholic. Because in season 3, we basically seen Lou at his worst. Like, he was really going through it. You could even say he was going through a form of PTSD, which with being in, the drug life and stuff like that. Which, can I just defend Lulu for a second? Because everybody kept saying, "Oh, we're tired of crybaby Lou. We hope he die because he's becoming like a crybaby. He's doing too much." But I think a lot of people aren't looking at this in a very realistic state. Yeah, there's some people that are in that life and they embrace it and they love it and like it doesn't affect them at all, which actually no, it always affects the person. Maybe they just don't get, like, everybody gets affected in different ways. But to where Rock and Marvin can just accept it and they just really don't care unless it has to do with their kids. Like, they really don't care about the effects of the life. People got to remember there are real people out here in that lifestyle like Lulu, to where the more you keep doing stuff and the more you keep doing horrible things, it really is going to mess with your psyche. Like, at least the way that the show is going, it like, because Lou was the one that took out D-Wiz in season 1, one of Kanan's friends. He basically was already messed up mentally because, think about it, it kind of implied that he never had to kill a kid before. D-Wiz, him killing D-Wiz basically implies like, damn, this was his first time killing a kid and it's really starting to mess with him. Then in season 2, they killed one of their most innocent soldiers. Like, they're soldiers that was loyal to them and, that would never rat them out. They made a mistake and killed, what's his name? I can't remember. Scrap. They accidentally killed Scrap. And like, so in season 1, you have him kill a kid. Second season, you have him kill someone that really was innocent, to them. And then in season 3, I don't remember if this happened in late season 2 or season 3. Actually, no, I think it did happen late season 2. Now this is where I would say Lou did somewhat mess up, where he got drunk and he admitted to Scrap's mom that they killed Scrap, just for Rock and Marvin to be like, nah, you got to make this right. You shouldn't have ran your mouth to her. And he had to take out a mother who was just grieving their son. Like, I can get the part where he went and told her, like, in a drunken state. I can get why people would be annoyed with him on that point, because I can see myself being annoyed with him if I was in their shoes too. But overall, I feel like people are being a little harsh on Lou, because it's like, you really got to think about what he's been having to do throughout the course of the series. This man has literally had to take out friends and basically people that was almost like family to him. Like, it's kind of messed up when you really have to think about it. Not all people are just going to, take it to the chin. Like, there's certain people that, and I'm sitting here saying this like I'm a killer, but like, I'm just speaking from, the context of the show. There's certain people that, there's certain ones that you do that are going to hurt you. So I don't know why people are sitting here acting like Lou is being a crybaby, because for the most part, it's very realistic. I can definitely see people that had to do what he had to do. I can see them feeling like that, and I can see them going through that. So what I like about this season is that Lou, he's trying to be on the straight and narrow, but you can tell that there's things that are gonna bring him back eventually. I mean, it's power, so they always come back, but it's things that's gonna bring him back eventually that it's like, damn, Lou, I really want you to stay on the straight and narrow, but it's like the new artist that he signed, he seems to be trouble for him. The death of Famous, Lou and Famous had a very close relationship. So I can see Lou really crashing out to save Fame, or not to save Famous, but like to avenge save Famous. So yeah, Lou is another character that I'm happy for this season. But I have to say, the character I'm happy the most this season is Jukebox. Now, I remember last season in season 3 when they were doing, Juke and that girl group Butter and whatever. I remember telling my friends, like, look, I get it. This is part of Jukebox character. They established this in the original Power, that she was a singer, or that she tried to be a singer at one point. I get it. But at some point, we need to start seeing Juke become Jukebox. Like, we know that she is a hardened character. We know that she's been through a lot of traumatic situations. And we know that her hands is right. But, like, realistically, we're getting closer to the end of the show, and we still haven't seen Juke, become that monster just yet. And I have to say, out of all the characters this season, Juke is the one I'm the most happiest for. So far, she's the real MVP of this season for me, because she has finally become the original Jukebox. In this last episode, in episode 6, there's a scene where Kanan and Juke is interrogating Freddy's crew. And when I say, this isn't even just Jukebox no more, this goes to Haley Kilgore that plays her. The mannerisms, the way she spoke, the way she questioned them, like the facial features, like everything was a Nicanoni Rose in the original Power. I saw the character that everybody feared in the original Power. For context, Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy are like superheroes in the original Power. Like they were the 3 people, you say their names, they're like, people got fear in their eyes just hearing Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy's name. There was a lot of people that was afraid of Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan. And even the people that wasn't afraid of them, like the villains, they all got taken down by Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan. But the one person that Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan was afraid of, the one person that they were afraid of was Jukebox. And in this scene alone, I finally saw that in Raising Kanan. I was like, I'm not even gonna lie, when I watched the scene, I was smiling, but at the same time, I was also like, this bitch is crazy. Like, so yeah, Haley Kilgore, you're really doing your thing, and I really cannot wait to see, I can't wait to see what they continue to do with Jukebox this season. I can't wait to see, what they do with her next season, and I really hope that when Power Origins come out, because in the original Power, Tommy and Ghost did talk about Jukebox back in the day. So I'm really hoping that in Power Origins, that, Makai Curtis, who plays Kanan, and Haley Kilgore, I really hope they continue into Power Origins, because I know at some point Juke is supposed to move away, and that kind of sets up like what happens in the original Power. So at some point Juke is supposed to go away and leave New York. But I'm hoping that she stays for Power Origins, at least for a little bit. If not for the whole series, at least for a little bit. And that's it as far as characters. Everybody else is just kind of like, Famous. He's been dead the whole season, so there's not really much I can speak on him. But like I said, Famous was one of my favorite main characters up to this point, before he died. So, yeah. So I kind of did touch on the story and the characters through my little character, stuff like that. So I guess the last thing I want to talk about is the big mystery of this season and my prediction. Who is the one that killed Famous? I see a lot of power YouTubers speak on this. I've seen a lot of comments speak on this. So let's go one by one. Who do I think didn't do it? I've seen theories that Juke didn't do it, and on a timeline, and also Juke is friends with Famous. And I mean, yeah, friends can take out friends in the power universe, but like they wasn't like that at that point. So it's like, yeah, I can't see Juke doing it. Howard, Malcolm Howard, Kanan's dad, who got offed at the end of last season. I can't see him do it. I can't see him doing it because timeline wise, it just doesn't add up. The only characters, oh yeah, and Lulu, come on now. I don't know why people would ever expect Lulu to do that, especially with the state he was in season 3. I don't know what y'all thought this was, but the characters that I can realistically see being involved is Rock, Marvin, and actually the cops. Because even in this last episode, they basically implied that the cops may have had something to do with it. And I've also seen theories online saying that it might have been law enforcement that off Famous. So here's my theory. And it's not really my theory. This is just a theory that I saw that made a lot of sense, because the main people that everybody keeps going back and forth with is Rock and Marvin and the cops. So here's my theory, or really a theory that I saw online that I actually strongly believe in. But I actually believe that Rock and Marvin set up the cops to do it, or didn't set up, like they weren't playing the cops. But I feel like they had cops that would, off Famous for them. Because here's the thing, a lot of people knew Marvin had something to do with it, because there's a teaser where you can see Marvin holding a gun to Famous's head, and we know it's Marvin because it's the same ring, it's the same type of gun that Marvin be using. Like, you can tell that it's Marvin. But people are questioning, so how does cops play into this? Because like I said, last episode, Kanan and Juke heard that cops was involved in this. Now, in season 3, for that little bit of time when Rock was trying to be on the straight and narrow, she did run into some dirty cops. And apparently, now I don't remember seeing this in any of the teasers, but one of the power YouTubers that I checked in on, they said that there is a clip in one of the teasers or trailers where Kanan can see Rock handing money to some dirty cops. And also when when Kanan and Juke was interrogating Freddy's crew, they said that Famous, they heard that Famous knew stuff about some dirty cops. And people, yeah, they could have been referring to Howard, like that Famous knew stuff about Howard, but honestly, it could also go to, Famous probably knowing something about the dirty cops that Rock and Marvin be working with, because I mean, Famous was basically like family to the Thomas family. Like, he knew what was up with them. So it's not too far-fetched to think that he probably knew that they had some undercover, or not undercover, but like, dirty cops, working with them. So if you ask me, how I think this is going to play out is that Rock and Marvin probably heard that Famous was talking, heard that Famous was snitching, but it might be another misunderstanding. Famous probably, and I remember there was a theory by Mark Dark after season 3 where Famous could probably pin like everything on Howard. I do think that theory could probably still play a part. So there probably could have been a misunderstanding. Like, Famous probably was talking, but he was probably trying to mislead, the detectives. Like, oh, it's not them, it's this person. Like, I feel like he was gonna try to, mislead the detectives. But all Rock and Marvin knew was that Famous was talking. I feel like Famous was gonna try to do something smart, but Rock and Marvin just heard like, oh, he's talking, so we got to get rid of him. But I feel like Rock and Marvin is going to say, we can't do it ourselves, because if this comes back on us, then Kanan and Juke ain't going to like it. So that's where they get the police involved, because they also said that he was tortured. And they also said that Famous was tortured before he was killed. And usually Rock and Marvin aren't the torture type. I mean, we only seen them do it once this season, so that might actually low key be a hint that it was them, truth be told. But they're not usually the torture type. We have seen them do it just one time this season, so I'm not gonna throw that out of the equation. That could actually be a very good clue that they tortured Famous. But I believe that they had the cops do it, and the cops wound up torturing Famous, probably just trying to figure out how much does he know, and if he knows too much, then we need to off him. I feel like that's what the situation is. So why do I believe that? Because some people don't believe that Rock has anything to do with it, but I feel like it's only going to push the story forward if Rock and Marvin both had something to do with it. Because here's the thing. There was little things in the original Power that kind of hinted that Juke and Kanan, yeah, they still have love for each other, but that they were somewhat gonna beef with each other. In the original Power, Kanan has a scar around his neck, and when Courtney Kemp was asked like why did Kanan have that scar, she said that it was from when Kanan and Juke were younger, they got into a fight, and she said that it was going to be expanded on in Raising Kanan. So if we are going to get, that explanation, the only way I can see that somewhat happening, if Marvin and Rock had something to do with Famous's death, I can see Kanan probably trying to do something to Marvin, in which Marvin and Juke actually had a close relationship. So I can see Marvin probably doing something crazy. Or not Marvin. I can see Kanan probably doing something crazy to Marvin. Juke wanting to get back, but she doesn't want to kill her cousin, so they get into a fight, and that probably results in the scar. That results in them not having the close relationship like they used to, and somewhat being cold like they were, to each other in the original Power. And as far as Rock, I mean, that's up in the air. Look, me and my friends had conversations about whether we feel like Rock is going to die by the end of the show and stuff like that. I really do feel like it could be either or, because there was one line of dialogue in the original Power where Kanan said he went to go visit his mom after getting out of jail. It's really up in the air because he could have actually visited her like for real, or either she could have died and he could have just visited his gravesite. So I don't know, I just don't know as far as. Oh, sorry, I got quiet. My friend is messaging me, but I don't know what Rock. God damn! Can you just send it in one message? I hate when people like text back to back to back. Nigga, just send it in one message. But hold on, let me mute this shit. How do I mute it? Okay. So yeah, I don't know what will happen with Rock, but as far as you know how this could lead into Juke and Kanan's relationship, I really do feel like it would cause a lot of tension between the Thomas family. And if next season is going to be the final season, we got to see the breakdown of the family. So I really do feel like it's going to set up for them to all just, break apart. And the cops, Marvin and Rock using the cops to get it done ain't going to change nothing. Because at the end of the day, it was still their plan to get rid of Famous. And I know that's going to hurt Kanan, and I feel like it's gonna hurt Juke, but she's gonna be more understanding. But I just feel like because Kanan, that was his boy, he's not gonna let it slide. Juke may let it slide. We still have to see about that. But Kanan, I really do feel like he's gonna be the one that's gonna cause, the end of this family because of the Famous thing. So yeah, I know I was rambling on for most of this episode, and I know this isn't like my typical podcast episode, but I just wanted to do something for the Power fans. If you guys have any thoughts on this season, if you disagreed, if you agreed, what's your thoughts? What do you believe really happened to Famous? Do you really think that Rock and Marvin had anything to do with it? Do you think it was just strictly the cops? Let me know, man. Let's talk about this Power stuff. And yeah, with all that being said, Tevin Jameer signing out. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.